мою... Нет, ту ёбаную собаку!
Спи спокойно.
No! He's here! He's here! He's there! He's coming!
In the middle of a stormy night, a car crashes and an injured man named John Wick gets out bleeding heavily. He pulls out his phone and watches a video of his beloved wife, finding a brief moment of peace. She is the only thing important to him, and as the storm continues, John collapses to the ground and falls asleep with the phone still in his hand. The alarm rings, and John wakes up in his bedroom. He goes downstairs to make coffee, but he can't stop thinking about his wife. He heads to the washroom, and when he looks in the mirror, he sees old, romantic memories of her. In the hospital room, John is next to his wife's bed. She is unconscious, surrounded by machines that beep softly. He kisses her forehead gently before leaving. In his hand, he holds her bracelet tightly. His wife has passed away, and he can't accept it. John drives to the graveyard for her funeral. He is upset as he remembers all the good times they had together. John is standing alone when his friend Marcus approaches and expresses his sadness over the death of Helen Wick, John's wife.
What are you really doing here, Marcus?
Just checking up on an old friend.
Marcus tells John that he needs to restart his life and gives him words of encouragement. He shakes hands with John and leaves the place. John returns to his house. The doorbell rings, and he goes to open the door, receiving a courier. He sits down and opens it, shocked to see that it is from his late wife, Helen. She had written it before her death. John starts reading the letter, which says, "I know, John, that you are reading my letter when you are feeling completely alone. I know I don't have much time left, and I know you will be heartbroken after my death. That's why I'm giving you the gift of a puppy, so that you are not alone. I've named the puppy Daisy." John cries deeply after reading the letter as he loves his wife so much. John has made Daisy his best friend. As days go by, the bond between him and Daisy grows stronger. Daisy wakes up John, who is sleeping.
I'm up. I'm up. I'm up. We'll grab you some Cuba later.
John drives to a petrol station to fill up his car. Daisy is also with him in the car. While he is filling his tank, he notices a car with very loud music. One of the men named Iosef Tarasov approaches him, smoking and looking for trouble.
Excuse me.
How much for the car?
She's not for sale.
Вы всего сука есть своя цена.
А у этой сука нету.
John becomes very angry, and to overcome his anger, he drives his car rashly until his anger is under control. John Wick is peacefully asleep in his room when Daisy suddenly jumps out of the bed and runs downstairs.
Ту ёбаную собаку!
Ага, вот они. Спи спокойно.
The thugs overpower him, snatching his car keys amidst the chaos. In a cruel and heartless act, they mercilessly kill Daisy before fleeing into the night. The once peaceful night has turned into a nightmare, leaving John with injuries and a profound sense of loss. As he cleans the blood from the floor, memories flood his mind. Helen, Daisy, and the terrible events with Iosef the night before. Knowing that Iosef and his gang have stolen his car, suspects they'll try to sell it professionally. Determined to recover his car, John takes a bus to see Aurelio, an old acquaintance. He explains everything that happened, from the theft of his car to the heartbreaking loss of his beloved pet Daisy. Aurelio listens carefully, having known John for many years, and sympathizes with his friend's plight. To John's surprise, Aurelio reveals that Iosef had approached him earlier, demanding to change the car's number plate. Recognizing John's car, Aurelio refused, which angered Iosef.
I asked you, where the hell did you get it?
Who gives a shit?
All right, get out of here. Just get out of my shop. Get out right now.
Just lose your shit, Aurelio?
The owner of the car, did you kill him or what?
Sure as up his dog.
Vigo is not gonna like this.
What do you know what Vigo likes or doesn't like?
Guess we'll be taking our business someplace else.
Aurelio speaking.
I heard you struck my son.
Because he stole John Wick's car, sir, and, killed his dog.
Oh.
Grateful for Aurelio's help, John thanks him and leaves. Vigo is shocked and upset by this revelation. Vigo asks him if he stole someone's car, to which Iosef admits, saying he liked the car very much. Enraged, Vigo fiercely punches his son and questions him about the person he stole from. Iosef, feeling both sad and angry at his father's reaction, dismisses it as just a car and wonders why Vigo is being so dramatic. Vigo, however, explains the severity of the situation to his son. He reveals that John is not an ordinary man, but a legendary figure within the mafia. John used to work for Vigo as his associate and was known for his bravery and deadly skills. However, John fell in love with a woman named Helen, who gave him their last memory together, their beloved pet Daisy.
I once saw him kill 3 men in a bar with a pencil. And then my son, a few days after his wife died, you steal his car and kill his dog.
Now that Iosef has killed Daisy, Vigo warns his son that John Wick will come for him. Vigo, being deeply engaged in the criminal underworld, vows to protect his son at any cost. Meanwhile, Vigo calls John. He expresses his sadness over the demise of his wife Helen. He pleads with John to forget what happened between him and his son, calling it a mistake. John, consumed by anger, abruptly ends the call without a reply. Seeing John's reaction, Vigo quickly understands the seriousness of the situation. He knows John will seek revenge, so Vigo decides he must kill John at any cost to protect his son. Vigo sends his goons to John's location to kill him.
Baba Yaga.
The police arrive at his house and ask him what he is doing. John replies in a very light mood that he is just arranging his house luggage. Police leave the place. John then calls his associates to collect the bodies and arrange them. For each dead body, John gives a gold coin as payment.
You look good. And here I'd feared you'd left all this behind.
Meanwhile, Marcus is preparing his lunch when he hears the doorbell. Vigo arrives at Marcus's place. Marcus is a killer like John. Vigo offers Marcus a large sum of money to kill John, as he is going to give Marcus $2 million. Marcus agrees, but for a hidden cause. Marcus starts setting his guns. The next day, John arrives at a hotel called the Continental. It's well known because all kinds of mafia members stay there, whether they're friends or foes. However, they can't fight or harm each other inside due to strict rules. Despite their differences, a woman named Perkins sizes him up with a curious stare. John books a room for himself.
It is a pleasure having you with us again, Mr. Wick.
He is sitting on the bed and watching the old videos of his wife, Helen. He takes the lift to come down and reaches the nightclub. Inside the nightclub, John meets Winston, the owner. Winston is surprised to see John there because he knows John has been out of the killing and mafia business for a long time. Seeing John back suggests something serious is happening. John shares his story with Winston, who sympathizes with him. Winston, who has known John for years, listens attentively and offers his sympathy. Understanding the gravity of John's situation, Winston secretly informs him of Iosef's hidden location. Vigo is in his car along with his manager. The manager informs him that John is in the Hotel Continental, and we have one person there who is willing to kill John. Vigo says if that person agrees to break the rules of Continental, we will give double the amount to her. John prepares to leave the Continental Hotel, hiding weapons and guns under his clothes. He follows the men protecting Iosef, who is enjoying drinking, dancing, and partying in the club with his friends amidst strong security. Arriving at the Townberg's hotel, John enters the club and points a gun at Francis.
Hello, Francis. Mr. Vick. Why don't you take the night off?
Thank you, sir.
Crawl, my human.
John reaches back to the Continental. He is badly injured. He demands a doctor and a laundryman from the receptionist. John reaches his room where a doctor is giving him medical treatment. John is resting in his room at night, his hands and arms wrapped in bandages from the injuries sustained in the fight at the club. Suddenly, a lady named Perkins enters John's room with a gun.
Yes.
We have received a number of grievances from your floor concerning the noise.
With Perkins held at gunpoint, John demands to know why she's after him and what her mission is. Perkins reveals that Vigo has given her the task of killing John. John gives instructions to Harry to look after Perkins. In return, he will give him a gold coin. John Wick arrives at the church and confronts Vigo's men. He shoots them all and makes his way to where Vigo's money is kept.
Vigo will kill me.
He knows that Vigo values his money greatly. Hearing the news of his money burning, Vigo will surely come to the church. Vigo, along with his army, reaches the church. John hides behind containers, preparing to attack Vigo. Perkins is tied to the chair. Harry says to her that you have broken the rules of Continental, and management does not like it at all. Perkins cleverly frees herself from the ropes and attacks Harry. John starts shooting with a gun, sparking a fierce battle between Vigo's army and himself. During the fight, a speeding car hits John hard, causing him to collapse unconscious. When he wakes up, he finds himself tied to a chair with Vigo's men surrounding him. Facing John, Vigo comments on John that, "You haven't changed at all. Same bravery, same fighting skills, same anger, and same dignity you had when you worked for me." He tells John that today, "You've made the biggest mistake of your life by burning my money. I'm not sad about the money itself, but that suitcase contained some crucial papers and documents that could have helped me become the biggest boss of the underworld mafia." Vigo becomes extremely angry and orders his army to kill John.
Yeah, while you had your wife, I had my son. And believe me, you had a far better deal. We are cursed, you and I.
Step aside. Give me your son.
Baba Yaga. It was just a car, just a dog.
Your son took that from me.
Oh, come on.
Kill that from me! So you can either hand over your son, or you can die screaming alongside him! Cool it. John!
Realizing his life is in danger, Vigo quickly gives John all the information he knows about his son, Iosef. Vigo hopes that when John reaches Iosef, the strong security there will kill him. However, it turns into a nightmare for Vigo.
Stop playing the video game.
The news of Iosef's death reaches Vigo, making him extremely angry and determined to seek revenge on John. John meets with Marcus to say thank you for saving his life. Perkins is in the car and sees both John and Marcus. Vigo sends his goons to Marcus's place to kill him. Then, Vigo calls John and informs him about Marcus's death, and he can check it if he wants. John hurriedly drives to his place where he finds Marcus's dead body. Seeing his old friend Marcus dead makes John very sad and upset. Winston calls Perkins and informs her that her membership of Continental has been cancelled.
Your membership to the Continental has been
Revoked.
Vigo sits in his car, trying to leave the city because he knows that John will come after him and kill him after seeing Marcus's dead body. He urgently decides to escape the city. The news reaches Winston, the head of the Continental. Winston calls John and informs him about Vigo's location. In the dark and rainy night, John vents all his anger on Vigo, punching him severely. Vigo tries to defend himself, but John is relentless, like an injured lion.
John.
John, injured and in pain from the brutal attack, stumbles through the streets seeking refuge. He comes across a nearby shelter. He steps inside, his movements slow and cautious due to his injuries. Inside the shelter, the dim light reveals rows of cages and shelves filled with medical supplies. John spots injections and various medical equipment on a nearby table. John hears a soft whine coming from one of the cages. He looks up and sees a pit bull, its eyes full of sadness and curiosity. The pit bull stays close to John, sensing his need for companionship and protection as they make their way forward into the uncertain darkness. Couple of days later, John speeds up his car and intentionally crashes into the bike, causing an accident. He takes the identity card and password of the other driver and runs away. Abram Tarasov, Vigo's brother, is working in a garage where drug dealing takes place. Abram is sitting in his office room. He tells his assistant that John will surely come to the garage to retrieve his car. His assistant asks him why they can't just return the car to John. Abram replies that John kills his nephew Iosef and his brother Vigo, all because of a car and a dog. The assistant questions why they don't just kill John, considering he is alone. Abram explains that John is very powerful, and he witnessed John's bravery when he kills 3 men in a bar using only a pencil, describing him as being like death, which can come at any time.
My brother. Over his car and a puppy. 3 men in a bar.
With a pencil. I know, I've heard the story, sir.
Pencil? Who the can do that?
The phone rings, and Abram answers. It is John on the other end, saying they have his car. Abram drops the phone, exclaiming that it is the boogeyman. John arrives at Abram's garage, searching for his stolen car. He finds it, gets inside, and starts the engine, killing everyone who tries to stop him. The security in the garage becomes alert. They also get inside the car and start following John. John is driving through the garage by using his sharp and clever driving skills. His car is hit by the followers, which badly damages his car. He fights his way through and eventually reaches Abram's office. He takes a wine bottle from Abram's table, pours 2 glasses of wine, offers one to Abram, and says that he wants peace. Abram asks if a man like him could want peace. John replies by asking why not. They agree, and John leaves the office. He gets back into his car, which is badly damaged from the fight, but he starts it and drives away. John arrives at his house in his damaged car. He takes a photo of his wife Helen from the car and looks at it lovingly. He enters his house, where his pit bull is waiting for him. He pets the dog with love and affection. John then recalls old memories of his wife by watching their old videos on his phone. Exhausted, he falls asleep with his pit bull. The next morning, John is playing with his dog when Aurelio arrives.
What do you think?
Well, your motor's about to fall out, and the drive shaft is all destroyed. And I don't know if you noticed, but you got a crack in your windshield.
Let me know when it's fixed.
They'll be ready Christmas.
2030.
John then goes back to his room. He enters the room and buries the boxes in its previous place. The doorbell rings, and John opens the door to find his old friend, Santino D'Antonio. John offers him a seat and goes to the kitchen to make coffee. Santino expresses his condolences for the deaths of John's wife and dog, Daisy. He then tells John that he needs him to work for him. John's face hardens, a mix of regret and resolve in his eyes, as he replies that he has left that life behind and cannot help Santino. He reaches into his pocket and pulls out a marker, a small object with immense significance. Santino, his voice now edged with urgency, says that John gave it to him as proof of a debt owed, and that John promised. John's eyes fixate on the marker as memories flood back. He knows the weight of his promise and the unbreakable vow symbolized by that marker. He urges Santino to find someone else for the job. Santino shakes his head, his determination unwavering, and says that John knows he can't do that because it's a blood oath that John has to honor. John says to Santino, his voice strained with emotion, that he has lost too much already: his wife, his peace, even his dog, and that he can't go back to that life because it will destroy him. Santino warns that if John doesn't honor it, there will be consequences. He stands there, caught in the unforgiving grip of his past, knowing that his life will never be the same again. The fire brigade arrives, and John makes an excuse, saying the explosion was due to a gas leak. John, along with his dog, reaches the Continental Hotel to meet Winston. He tells Winston that Santino has burned his entire house down. Winston reminds him that he gave a blood marker to Santino, and now Santino is misusing it. John explains that he had no other choice at the time. Winston explains the two unbreakable rules. First, no fighting, bloodshed, or robbery can occur within the Continental. And second, one must fulfill the task of the person to whom they have given a blood marker, no matter what. If any of these rules are broken, the Mafia will kill the violator. Winston suggests to John that he should first complete the task associated with the marker and then kill Santino. John decides to follow this advice and leaves his dog at the Continental before setting out to meet Santino. Santino is already waiting for John. John asks what kind of work Santino needs from him. Santino replies that he needs John to kill his sister. John is shocked and asks why. Santino explains that there are 12 seats at the high table, all occupied by top mafia professionals from around the world. When his father died, he passed his seat to Santino's sister, making her the leader now. Santino desires to take her place as the ruler and leader. John confirms if Santino wants him to kill his sister, Gianna D'Antonio. Santino says he can't do it himself because she's his sister and he loves her. He also provides the location of Gianna, mentioning that she is in Rome now. John goes to a bank and retrieves a box containing suits, guns, and gold coins. He then heads directly to Rome. In Rome, he checks into the Continental Hotel and books a room for himself. There, he meets the owner of the hotel, Julius, whom he knows from the past.
Sei qui per il Santo Padre?
No.
One of our finest rooms.
Grazie.
Next, John visits a tailor shop and orders several suits for himself. He then goes to a weapons shop to purchase new weapons. With the help of his contacts and friends, he gathers all the necessary information about the Antonio Palace. John arrives at the Antonia Palace, where a party is underway in preparation for Gianna's upcoming coronation ceremony that night. He enters through a hidden back door and strategically hides weapons in various locations along the way. Gianna arrives to meet Akoni, whose territory her people have taken control of. Akoni seeks to reclaim his area and confronts Gianna, but she dismisses him. Later, Gianna goes to her washroom where John secretly follows. Gianna recognizes John as an old friend, but senses danger, suspecting that someone has sent him to kill her. She confronts John, asking who sent him and why. John replies that it was her brother, Santino. Gianna then asks John if he would do the same if his wife, Helen, were in her place. In a shocking move, Gianna cuts her and lies in the bathtub. John asks her why she did it, but Gianna insists that she lived life on her own terms and would die the same way. With Gianna dying in the bathtub, John reluctantly shoots her in the head before leaving. As John is leaving, Gianna's bodyguard Cassian sees him and asks if he is on duty. John says yes, but Cassian is suspicious.
John?
Cassian.
Good night?
Afraid so.
Prendetelo!
Loose ends.
The security team follows him, but John manages to fend them off. As John emerges from the hidden track, Cassian attacks him with a fast-moving car. They engage in a fierce fight, eventually crashing through the glass window of the nearby Continental Hotel and falling inside.
Do I need to remind you that there will be no business conducted on the Continental grounds?
Julius arrives and tells them to stop fighting, reminding them of the Continental's rule against violence on its premises. Julius advises John and Cassian to sit in the bar to cool down. They both sit in the bar, having their favorite drinks. John explains to Cassian that Santino gave him a blood marker to kill Gianna. Cassian says that means John had no other choice. John replies that Santino wants his position on the high table. Cassian says he will take revenge on John and will kill him as soon as he leaves the place. But he will do him the favor of not killing him brutally so that John will not feel pain. John replies that he will do the same for Cassian. Cassian then pays for the drink and leaves the place. John receives a call from Santino. Santino says that he knows John is very angry and feeling bad, but he questions what people will think of him if he doesn't take revenge on his sister's killer. Angered, John hangs up. As he packs his things, Santino calls the accounting department to place a bounty of $7 million on John.
I'd like to open an account.
Name on the account?
John Wick. $7 million.
Processing. Please hold.
May you have a safe journey, Mr. Wick.
Order confirmed.
John meets Julius to check out. Julius says goodbye and prays for his safe journey. The news of the bounty spreads like wildfire among the mafias of the Continental. Everyone is now after John to kill him. Santino meets with Winston, who demands the return of the blood marker. He asks Santino to sign the register as proof that John is no longer under the pressure of the blood marker, as he has completed his task.
Now he's free of the marker. What do you think he'll do? He did tell you not to do this. Adios, Santino.
John is moving through a busy street when he suddenly sees Cassian staring at him with a fierce expression. John readies his gun and shoots at him. John is on one side of the fountain and Cassian is on the other. They start shooting at each other, but the fountain is in between, blocking their view. Taking advantage of the situation, John runs. Cassian starts looking for him. Cassian reaches the scene just as a train arrives. John boards the train and Cassian follows. They stand face to face. John opens his knife and attacks Cassian, but Cassian manages to hold off the attack. A huge fight breaks out between them.
You pull it out, you will bleed and you will die.
John is about to leave the station in an injured condition when he sees two men in sanitation uniforms. They pick up guns and try to shoot John. John runs, and the men follow him. A beggar is sitting in the station. John gives him a gold coin and asks him to take him to the Bowery King. The men arrive, searching for John, but the beggar shoots them. John is lying on a bed with an IV drip in his hand. He gets up and sees the bandage on his abdominal wound. John goes to the rooftop where Bowery, holding a pigeon, mentions that John Wick, the legend, has arrived. Bowery recalls their past fight where John spared his life. John asks for Bowery's help, but Bowery refuses, mentioning that there is a $7 million bounty on John, and if he wanted, he could kill him. John tells Bowery that there are 12 seats at the high table, and one will be given to Santino, who is a big enemy to both of them. John warns that once Santino gets the seat, he will surely try to kill Bowery. John offers the Bowery King a deal, saying that if he wants, John can kill Santino to save Bowery and his people. Bowery agrees and gives John a gun and a bullet magazine, telling him that each bullet is worth 1 crore. For each bullet used, John has to pay Bowery. He also informs John that Santino is currently at the museum. John reaches the museum, where a party is going on. Santino welcomes his guests and cheers a drink with everyone in memory of his late sister Gianna. John reaches the museum through a hidden track and sees Santino. Everyone falls silent and the music stops. John quickly takes out his gun and starts shooting, but he runs out of bullets. John follows Santino, killing every security person who tries to stop him. John enters a place known as Reflections of the Soul, filled with mirrors. Santino greets John, saying hello and welcoming him. Santino informs John that his marker is complete and that he can choose to run if he wants, but he won't be able to escape now. Santino warns John that killing him will only increase his troubles. John reaches the place where Santino is hiding. Santino opens fire, but he only hits the mirrors, causing them to shatter. John tries to shoot Santino, but his gun is empty. Santino runs. The security team enters and searches for John, but John fights them off. Ares, the mute girl in Santino's security team, reaches him and offers protection. As they head downstairs, John catches up.
Reflections of the Soul.
Santino reaches the Continental Hotel to meet Winston, knowing that no one can kill him there. He demands Winston cancel John's membership. Winston refuses, saying John hasn't broken any rules. John arrives at the Continental and asks the receptionist about Santino. He is told that Santino is in the lounge. John goes there and finds Santino having dinner with Winston present. Santino proudly comments on the food, but Winston senses danger and asks John to leave.
Jonathan?
Have you seen the menu here?
Jonathan, just walk away.
Yeah, Jonathan, walk away.
What have you done?
Finished it.
He leaves the lounge and goes to the receptionist to collect his dog. On a dark, rainy night, John arrives at a destroyed house. He finds his wife's bracelet in the mud, pulls it out, and looks at it lovingly, holding it close to his heart. The receptionist of the Continental Hotel, Karen, arrives and informs John that Winston is calling for him. Winston tells John that he killed Santino in the Continental in front of everyone, explaining that he is helpless and has to cancel John's membership. Winston informs John that he has 1 hour to escape. John tells Winston that anyone who comes after him, he will kill.
Whoever comes, whoever it is, I'll kill them. I'll kill them all.
Accounts payable. John Wick. Excommunicado.
Order 11111 confirmed.
The bounty on John Wick's head has now increased to $14 million. Despite being injured, John is navigating a busy street, each step filled with pain and urgency. The streets are crowded with people and cars, making his journey even more difficult. Meanwhile, Winston returns to his hotel, the Continental. He heads straight to the front desk, where the receptionist greets him. They have a serious discussion about John and the increasing danger he faces. Winston's concern for John is clear, but there is little he can do. John, desperate to find a safe place and gather his resources, hails a taxi. He gets in, giving the driver directions, but soon finds himself stuck in heavy traffic, races with thoughts of escape and survival. With no other option, John decides to leave his dog with the taxi driver. John steps out of the taxi and makes his way to a nearby library. The large building looms ahead, and he pushes open the heavy doors, entering the quiet, dimly lit interior. He approaches the receptionist, who looks up from her desk. John tells her that he's looking for a book. The receptionist nods and directs him to the second floor. Finally, he finds the one he is looking for. Inside, he discovers a hidden compartment. Alongside the photo, there are several gold coins and pendants. These items are crucial for his survival and next steps.
We were not made to live as brutes, but to follow virtue and knowledge. 14 million, it's a lot of money.
Not if you can't spend it.
Leaving the library, John feels a renewed sense of purpose. The memory of his wife and the resources he has found give him the strength to continue, even as the world closes in around him. He steps back into the busy street, determined to survive and honor the promise he made to himself and his wife's memory. The doctor tells him he shouldn't be there, saying his time is up. John insists on treatment, offering a golden coin in exchange for help. The doctor quickly gathers his medical supplies, his movements efficient and practiced. John's breathing is heavy, his face pale from the pain and blood loss. John's time is now up. The doctor finishes treating his wound but knows he can't provide any more help. The rules of the underworld are strict, and John's excommunication means no one is supposed to assist him. The doctor steps back, looking at John with a mixture of concern and resignation. He tells John that he can't do anything more for him. Before John leaves, the doctor suddenly grabs his arm. He explains that if the High Table finds out he helped John, they would come after him. He tells John that he needs to shoot him, not fatally, just enough to make it look like he was attacked and couldn't help. That way, he could say John forced his way in and injured him. The doctor gasps in pain. John leaves the doctor's place, moving quickly and carefully through the dark streets. His shoulder throbs with pain, but he knows he can't stop. He needs to stay ahead of his pursuers. As he makes his way through the city, he notices a group of men following him. He looks around quickly, searching for a place to hide or defend himself. Seeing a back room, John rushes towards it and locks the door behind him. He takes a deep breath, trying to steady his nerves. Quickly, he grabs the gun and checks it. It's empty, so he searches for bullets, finding a small box on a nearby table. With shaking hands, he loads the gun, preparing for the inevitable confrontation. John reaches a shop where a woman tells him it is closed. He shows her the pendants from the library and she allows him to enter. However, a suspicious man is watching John's activities. John puts all his findings from the book on a table in front of some people. One of the men takes John to the auditorium, where a girl is showing her dancing skills in front of a lady director. John approaches the director and asks for help. She asks John to come with her to her room. She tells John that she cannot help him even though she wants to, because the high table wants to kill him. John insists that she help him as it is his right, because it is the same place where John has taken his fighting training. He demands the director to send him safely to Casablanca. The mafia of the high table sends an emissary adjudicator to meet Winston. She is here to address the serious issue of John Wick breaking the sacred rules of the Continental. The adjudicator asks Winston to take her to see Santino's dead body. Santino, who had a bounty on John's head, was killed by John inside the Continental, violating the hotel's strict rule against conducting business on its grounds. She questions Winston about why he didn't take action against John, despite John breaking the rules of the Continental. She accuses him of giving John an hour to escape, stating that he has known John for a long time yet didn't intervene, which is a serious breach of the high table's rules. The adjudicator informs Winston that he has 1 week to resolve the matter and clear his position. The adjudicator finds the Bowery King in his hidden lair, surrounded by his followers, mentioning that he also played a part in helping John escape, which constitutes a violation of the high table's rules. The adjudicator's tone remains unforgiving as she informs him that she is giving him 1 week to leave the place and clear his position. She warns that serious consequences will follow if he fails to comply.
No, there will be no replacement for me on the throne. I am the Bowery!
Do not make the mistake of thinking you exist outside the rules. No men do.
John reaches Casablanca, where he meets his old friend Sophia Al-Azwar, who is also part of the underworld. John asks for her help, but she initially refuses. John reminds Sophia that he has helped her a lot in the past, which means Sophia has to return the favor. Sophia agrees to help. John tells her that he wants to meet the Elder at any cost, because the Elder is the most senior member of the High Table and its management. John wants to remove the death warrants issued against him by the High Table. Sophia takes John to a local contract killer who knows the address of the Elder. The contract killer tells them that the Elder can be found in the middle of the desert. He then demands something in return for the information. Sophia asks what he wants, and he replies that he wants her dogs because they are highly trained. Sophia, who loves her dogs very much, refuses. The man becomes angry.
And I will kill you. This was for you to learn.
You shot my dog.
I get it.
John and Sophia, along with her dogs, reach the desert. Sophia tells John that he is about to face death, either in that desert or on some unknown street. John returns the medal to Sophia, signaling that her task is complete. Now alone, John continues his journey through the desert. The adjudicator moves to the Bowery King and informs him that she had instructed him to surrender, but he has not complied. She reminds him that he provided 7 bullets to John, so he must now receive 7 injuries. The adjudicator orders her fighter, Hunter, to stab the Bowery King with a sword, causing him to become injured and fall.
Eyes, my sweet. Long live the king.
John lies unconscious in the desert when a man with a camel arrives. When John opens his eyes, he finds himself in the area of the elder. The elder asks him how he got lost in the desert. John replies that he is not lost, but trying to find him. The elder tells John that if he completes a task for him, he will remove the death warrants against him. He requests that John kill Winston. Shocked, John agrees. As a sign of his commitment, John cuts off his finger and gives the ring to the elder. John reaches New York with the agenda to kill Winston. His arrival does not go unnoticed. Members of a ruthless mafia group known as Zero's Men spot John and move into attack. They are skilled fighters, intent on earning the reward for capturing or killing him. John, however, is prepared. He anticipates their moves and swiftly counters their assault. Inside a crowded area, with quick reflexes and precise strikes, he disables his attackers one by one. The confrontation spills out onto the street, where John faces a new threat, two motorcyclists. Before the second motorcyclist can react, John draws a concealed weapon and fires, bringing the pursuit to a sudden halt. Seizing the opportunity, John commandeers the motorbike and speeds away from the scene.
I suggest you lower your gun.
John tells Karen that he wants to meet Winston. Karen arranges for them to sit together on a sofa. John gets up and settles on another sofa. Zero expresses his admiration for John, mentioning that he has wanted to meet him for a long time and is a big fan. Suddenly, John's dog approaches him. Zero remarks to John that they are alike, but John denied it. Karen informs John that Winston is prepared to meet him. John proceeds to meet with Winston. Winston acknowledges that John is there to kill him and has taken the contract from the elder. They are in discussion when the adjudicator arrives and instructs John to fulfill the contract he has been given. However, John chooses not to kill Winston. The adjudicator becomes angry and makes a call, announcing that the Continental Hotel is no longer part of the underworld. She declares that the rules of the underworld no longer hold, allowing anyone to kill anyone else. The news spreads to all the assassins worldwide. A team of commandos, summoned by the adjudicator, enters the Continental Hotel with the sole mission of eliminating John and Winston. A huge fight erupts between different factions: Winston, John, the adjudicator's forces, and Zero's gang. John starts attacking the forces.
Need more firepower. 12-gauge steel slugs. Armor piercing.
John, you're incredible.
Let's do this.
The adjudicator meets with Winston. During their talk, John arrives. Winston agrees to cooperate with the adjudicator and the high table. In return, she tells Winston that she will give the hotel back to him. Before leaving, the adjudicator asks Winston what they are going to do with John.
Oh, he has to die. Sorry, Jonathan.
Winston pulls out his gun and starts shooting John, causing him to fall from the roof to the ground. The adjudicator praises Winston, saying good work, and then leaves in her car. She checks the place where John fell, but John is not there. She returns to Winston and informs him about John's missing body, saying that if John is alive, he will be a great danger to them. John's pit bull runs from the Continental and reaches a homeless man who is taking John's injured body from the underground tunnels. They finally reach the Bowery. The Bowery King saves John because he wants to take revenge on the high table. Bowery King asks John if he is in severe anger just like him.
Yeah.
Months have passed from the events of the Continental battle, and John is practicing his fighting skills and preparing himself for getting revenge on the high table. Bowery has bought a new dress for John, which is a bulletproof dress, and prepares him for the final fight. John reaches the desert and kills the guards of the Elder. They are running to save their life from John, but he is in great anger. He is riding the horse and shooting them all. After killing all the guards, John reaches Elder. He says to him that he knows John's intentions are not good, that he has planned to kill the high table, but all of this will just bring him death. John says to the Elder that he only demands freedom and the ring which he took. The Elder warns that if John were to kill him, he would not find freedom, but rather death. John disregards the Elder's warning and shoots him in the head. Following this, the Continental Hotel resumes operations. A man named Harbinger arrives at the reception.
Harbinger.
The ring finger is severed, indicating he has taken a life oath to fulfill a specific target. Harbinger delivers a secret message from the high table to Charon. Later, Harbinger meets with Winston and places a sand clock on the table before him. He informs Winston that he must meet with Marquis Vincent within 1 hour. With the Elder's demise, Marquis now commands the entire high table. He insists that Winston meet him, and Winston cannot refuse. Charon and Winston proceed to meet Marquis at his location. Marquis accuses Winston of betraying the high table by failing to kill John as instructed. Winston responds by claiming that he did kill John. Marquis counters, questioning how John is still alive and targeting members of the high table. Marquis holds Winston accountable for this failure and impending consequences. As the sand clock nears its end, the Continental Hotel in New York is destroyed in an explosion.
You no longer need the services of a concierge.
It has been an honor.
Should have been me. Now you think about why that is, and perhaps one of us will have benefited from this conversation.
A girl named Mia is playing the violin on the streets of Paris, while her father, Cain, sits nearby. He is the blind character of the story. Even though he is blind, he has strong fighting skills and not less than anyone. Cain receives a message to meet Marquise. When they meet, Marquise tells Cain that he was once their top killer who targeted the boogeyman. Cain replies that was his old profession. He has left it, and he does not want to return to that life. Marquis then threatens Cain, saying that if he wants to save his daughter's life, he has to do one task for him. Cain receives the name of his target, John Wick. They were once good friends. Kane initially refuses, but Marquise threatens to kill his daughter if he does not comply. Reluctantly, Kane accepts the offer to save Mia, despite his disinterest. The scene then shifts to the Osaka Continental. The hotel operates under the same strict rules as the Continental in New York. No killing, robbery, murder, or any bad deeds are allowed within its premises. The owner of the Osaka Continental is Shimazu Koji, and his receptionist is a girl named Akira. She is also the daughter of Shimazu. Akira is informing Shimazu about the day's tasks when suddenly John Wick arrives. Akira alerts Shimazu, saying that the entire world's mafia is searching for John and that Marquise's people will undoubtedly come looking for him. Soon, Marquise's people arrive and a huge fight breaks out. Akira fights bravely, as do Shimazu's people.
Step aside.
Get out. Secure the hotel. Find Wick.
Akira fights bravely, as do Shimazu's people. John also intervenes and fights fiercely against Marquise's men. Chidi, a member of Marquise's team, struggles to hold his ground in the final fight and calls Kane for help. Kane arrives, equipped with advanced technological gadgets for self-defense, such as a sensor bell. During the fight, John falls, and Kane believes he is dead. However, John accidentally makes a noise, revealing he is still alive. The fight resumes, with John and Kane battling each other intensely. A new character named Nobody enters the scene, trying to kill John for the bounty of $20 million on his head. John manages to escape from Kane and reaches Nobody. However, Nobody doesn't kill John because he is greedy and won't kill him unless the bounty is increased further. Nobody puts his gun away and allows John to leave. Shimazu is in very bad condition, and Akira accompanies him to a safe place. As they are about to reach safety, they find Kane waiting for them. Shimazu tells Kane that they were once good friends and questions if he knows the difference between friendship and rivalry. Kane responds that Shimazu's daughter is in safe hands, but his isn't, and he has to do this for her sake. A huge fight breaks out between them. Despite their past friendship, Kane wins the battle and kills Shimazu. Akira is furious, but Kane tells her to save her anger for a better and later time. Akira reaches the train where John is present. They talk and decide to cooperate. Meanwhile, Winston arrives at the ruins of the Continental Hotel, and Bowery King also arrives there. They decide to help each other since their power in the city has diminished, and both now consider the High Table their enemy. Harbinger reaches Marquis and tells him that there is a person who knows about John and wants to meet him. Kane advises nobody to think twice before making any deal. Nobody meets with Marquis. Marquis asks who he is. He replies that he is nobody and knows John's location, but in return, he needs $25 million. Marquis takes a knife from his pocket and stabs nobody's hand. He says that if nobody can pull his hand out from the knife, he will get $25 million and a chance to work with him. Driven by greed and not wanting to lose the opportunity, nobody successfully pulls his hand out without disturbing the knife, securing his deal. John meets Winston at Charon's grave, where Winston is expressing his grief. John mentions that he heard about Winston's hotel, saying Marquis destroyed it completely. John acknowledges that he knows Winston wanted to help him, but didn't expect Winston to receive such a big punishment for it. Winston replies that John came to the wrong place and tells him he will find his enemy in Berlin. He warns John that he can't face him alone because he has a very big army. John arrives in Berlin. His stepsister Katya sees him and becomes very angry. She hangs John, furious that he has been away from the family for a long time. Katya fears that John's presence will attract the High Table's mafias, endangering her and her family. John tells Katya that he wants to fight Marquis, and to do that, he needs to reconnect with his family. Katya responds that if John wants to reconnect with the family, he has to do one task for her. He has to kill the murderer of their father, whose name is Killa. John agrees and goes to confront Killa, who is playing cards. Kane arrives with a gun in hand, anticipating John's arrival. Nobody also arrives, knowing that John would come to kill Killa. As John approaches, Killa greets him, but warns that Kane, Nobody, and himself all want to kill John due to the increasing bounty on his head. He asks John whom he wants to kill. Killa suggests they play a card game first. They start playing, and Killa wins. John acts swiftly, using a card to cut Killa's neck.
The clan is out.
Schieß mir in den Arsch! Du Schweinhund! Don't you just die!
Before leaving, John takes one of Killa's golden teeth as evidence and gives it to his stepsister Katya. Impressed by John's actions and determination, Katya agrees to accept John back into the family. As a symbol of his inclusion, John receives a dragon symbol tattooed on his arm. Winston meets with Marquis and informs him that John is challenging him to a fight. Marquis responds, saying John should have a family first. Winston informs Marquis that John has reconnected with his family. He emphasizes the rules of the fight, stating it must be a face-to-face battle. Marquis acknowledges the need for a coordinator for the battle and selects Kane for the role. Kane will fight against John as Marquis' representative in the upcoming confrontation. Marquis and John sit at a large table to negotiate the terms of their battle. Steel plate cards are placed in front of them, each detailing different aspects of the battle. There are three main options to settle: the location of the fight, the use of weapons, and the choice of coordinator. From Marquis' side, Kane has already been chosen as the coordinator. John will come alone to the fight. They agree that the battle will take place in a church atop a mountain, and pistols will be the weapons used. They set the next morning as the start time for their battle. They also agree that if either party fails to reach the designated place on time, the High Table will issue death warrants against them. Kane and John sit in the church, burdened by the weight of their past friendship and the current circumstances that have pitted them against each other. Kane feels compelled to carry out his task solely to protect his daughter's life. Meanwhile, Harbinger visits Marquis and expresses doubt about Marquis' ability to defeat John. Marquis remains confident, stating that John can only defeat him if he confronts him directly. Concerned that John may not show up for the battle the next day, Marquis instructs Chidi to kill John the night before. News of the impending battle reaches Bowery King, who prepares by acquiring a new bulletproof suit and a lightweight, fast-loading pistol with exceptional accuracy for John's use. Marquis has offered a bounty of $40 million to whoever kills John that night.
It seems like our friends at the guild dropped the ball. And now it's rolling to the Arc de Triomphe.
Using his exceptional combat skills, he defeats all the mafias chasing him. Meanwhile, Kane and Nobody observe John's fight from a distance. John manages to reach a nearby building seeking refuge, but Chidi and his guards arrive to eliminate him. John had a chance to kill Nobody, but instead he shoots Chidi, and because of that, he saved Nobody's dog. As he fell from the window apartment to escape the assassins, he slowly gets up and continues towards the meeting place, which is nearby. John only needs to climb the long stairs, and he will be on time, but more goons arrive to finish him off. As they fall down the stairs like leaves, he grabs many of them and uses their body as a shield against the bullets. Since there is no cover, he tries everything he can to evade the bullets, and as he finally reaches the top of the stairs, more of them arrive with Chidi kicking him down all the way to the bottom. Kane comes just in time and helps John get back up, so they start shooting together and going through the assassins. As they killed a bunch of them and almost climbed to the top, Chidi targets John again, but is stopped by Kane and Nobody. Finally, John and Kane reach the meeting just in time, and Harbinger says that they can begin. John gets ready with Winston telling him to have fun. Kane and John both shoot at the same time and hit each other. The last round begins, and they shoot again, but it appears that John took the worst end, so he falls down. Marquis quickly tells Kane to give him the gun, so he could fire the last bullet and claim the fame of killing the famous John Wick. He tells Kane that he and his daughter are free now.
Fools. He didn't shoot.
Consequences.
As John has killed his opponent, he wins the final battle. According to the rules, John is given his life back as nobody from the high table will disturb him. The New York Continental Hotel is going to be rebuilt at the expense of High Table. John is coming down from stairs after winning the battle. As he is badly injured, he falls there. At the end of the movie, John's grave is seen right next to his wife's grave. John Wick's loving husband is written on his grave. Winston and John Bowery pay the last tribute to him.
Das Vidania, mój syn.
In the post-credit scene, Akira is seen with a knife going towards Kane as he watches his daughter play, and this is where the movie ends. I hope you enjoyed the John Wick recap, and if you did, then please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. And as always, thank you very much for watching.